Oh, this is the good show. We have Marco Rubio, Donald J. Trump, and we have Zelensky right here in this interview. One great day for them, it seems. Uh,
Zelensky and I to meet, and we'll see what we can do. But we've actually be the beginning, maybe.
Yeah.
Just the beginning. And you know, the country has a lot of future. It is such great land, such great
it's
assets,
one
such
good
great
interview
people.
right here.
And you have a lot of people. I was with a group in Poland, and you have a lot of people in Poland, and which is a terrific country with a really great president. I happen to endorse him, so, and he's doing a very good job. And they were saying they love Poland, but they really want to go back. You know, you're going to get a lot of people back when this is over. They left some, and they're all. I think they're going to come back. A big percentage are going to come back.
Less stress.
So, have a good talk, and we're going to see how it all goes. And Mr. President, would you like to say something?
Thanks so much, Mr. President. Thank you very much for this meeting, and we're very thankful, as always, to your support, American support, bipartisan support. Thanks for the invitation to this summit, and I think that I agree with you. We have a lot what to discuss and what to speak about, and of course we are thankful for the Pearl program, and we want to share with you some details what we want to raise during our meeting. Air defense is the priority. The second point, or maybe the first, about negotiations. I think yes, we understand what to do. It's our estimation what to do, how to bring this, and I hope that we will do. I'm sure that we will do everything to stop this war. Yeah, and I'm very happy that our side began to work on drone deal, and it's very good beginning. And I hope that today I will have possibility to also to discuss with you some very important details. Thank you so much.
Well, we've settled a lot of wars, and this one is the one that I thought maybe would be the easiest. But Putin's a difficult character, and this guy's a difficult character. It's not the easiest thing, and there's a lot of commitment, and there's a lot of love of the countries and everything else. But
there's a lot of nationalistic belief, and that's a good thing.
We'll see how it all goes. So, do you have any questions?
President Trump,
When Vladimir Putin thinks it's a civil war,
possibly over,
he just wants to take control because he sees it as an opportunity
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded
to
this
create an order that is feasible for
$118 for car insurance.
the
That's how much I was
east
paying,
and west
okay?
of
I
Ukraine.
picked up the car a few months ago, and watch this. Ready? $97 premium. $20 were my.
They are behaving very badly, as they have for 47 years. And, you know, we hit them hard last night after they launched a couple of, you don't have to know about this, you got stuff on your mind, but they launched a couple of drones and one rocket, one missile, and at ships, because they were in the strait, which they have every right to be. And so we hit them very hard last night, very, very hard. Probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give them a little warning, we're going to hit them hard tonight. But we'll see how it all works out. No, I'm not happy with them. You know, it's like, for instance, we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about the denuclearization of Iran, because that's what the war is. It's not a war. It's really the denuclearization of Iran. And we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about just that. Just because my whole thing is not about regime change. It's not about, although I think it's regime change when you knock out the first group, the second group, and now you're I think that's maybe the ultimate regime change. But that's not what it's about. It's about, we don't want them to have nuclear weapons, and it's denuking or denuclearization. And
The denuclearization of
and they'll get out
Iran,
of the room.
he
We'll
made a
talk
lot
about
of
it like we're here.
progress. he
They'll agree on
talked
everything,
about
and
the
then they'll
whole
go have a news
entire
conference and say, "We never
ordeal
even
about the
talked about it."
strait,
They're
and
cuckoo.
he
There's
came
something wrong with these
into
people. And for 47 years, they've been the bully of the Middle East, and they're not the bully anymore.
he
They're
came
not the
into
bully
grips
anymore.
with
And
that
all they want-
reality,
It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear
especially
weapon. That's what
after
I'm
the
there for.
Ayatollah died.
President Trump, sir, President
If
Trump.
they did, they'd use it, and we're not going to let that
President
happen.
Trump, sir.
Daniel?
You've made a career making deals in very challenging situations. Speaking to President Zelensky, speaking to President Putin, in your view, sir, what is the most pragmatic pathway forward to finding a long-term peace deal? in the
I just think they're
Russian-Ukraine
going to
war?
make a deal. Look, this deal has been in the works for a long time.
Been
It's
in the
got the
works
pluses,
since
the minuses. They know what it is. He knows
2014,
what it is
buddy.
better than anybody. And I just think it's.
I have the printout
sometimes-
right here.
You know, I used an analogy, and it sounds simple, but it's sort of true. You have
And
two
it
kids in a
sounded
park, and
very
they don't like each other, and they start fighting.
intriguing and reasonable.
Sometimes you have to let them fight. Let them see that it's tough. You know, it's tough. Fighting is tough. And he's done an amazing job. Look, he's been very effective. Now he's had the best equipment because he's had our equipment, and he's had great. But somebody has to use that equipment, and you have a lot of brave people that are using that equipment. And Russia, you know, it's a big country, but it's a big force. Russia's always been a big fighting force, so you know it's. But I really believe it's ready. It's very interesting because you'd almost say it's worse than ever, and maybe it isn't. Sometimes with war,
interesting
you study
thing
war, and I
is
studied it
when-
so long.
when Vladimir
years long before
Putin
I
can
did
see
this.
reason
Sometimes it's
beyond
when
a
it gets the
reasonable doubt
worst. And I don't know that
and
it's the
actually
worst
make
right
up
now. It's
his
consistently
mind
bad.
about
There
certain
was
things, and when he's
25,000
actually
people
able
lost
to
kids, young
cooperate
people
with the
lost
West.
last month. And, we had a
Hopefully
month,
Normandy
35, 2
and
months ago.
Germany
And I would say
can,
more Russians.
put some sense into
And,
Putin
but it's just they're people.
and actually complete
people.
what was started.
And there's actually very little difference between the people. I mean, you know, it's like the Russians and Ukrainian people, and they can get along. But it's a nasty war. Thousands and thousands, mostly soldiers, are being killed. The battlefields. I see pictures, and it's horrible. He thinks it's horrible. We all think it's horrible. And the president wants to get it done, and I believe that President Putin wants to get it done, and that should be a good combination. Thank you.
Mr. President, what is your assessment on Ukraine's strike on Russian oil refineries and military factories?
Where are you from?
Ukraine.
Phrase the question differently, please.
Ukraine delivered strikes on Russian military factories and on oil refineries, and they ran out of gas.
Marco, why don't you answer that? Because
Well,
you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, I think what you're discussing is the ability of Ukraine to reach deep inside of Russia
Yeah,
and
yeah,
conduct
sure,
strikes.
sure.
I think that's one of the dynamics that's changed in this war over the last few months, and that is that Russians are finding it more difficult to defend their own airspace. And what we hope that means is that it's going to create the space now to negotiate the end of this war.
It's an escalation, but it's also an escalation that can help lead to an end. And,
Mr. President, what makes you think that Mr. Putin might be seeking for the settlement?
so where are you from?
Radio Free Europe's Ukrainian service. I'm from Ukraine.
Okay, good. Because I talked to him. I talked to him. I talked to President Zelensky, and I think that's all I've done. My whole life I made deals. That's, I guess, becoming president was making a deal, right? It was like a lot of little individual things. In the end, it's making a deal. And that's what I do. And I do it well, and I know when people want to make a deal. I think he wants to make a deal. And I do feel that President Zelensky would like to get back to rebuilding his country as opposed to, you know, having all of this death and destruction. Ukraine has tremendous potential. He understands that. We talk about that. He talks about that more than he talks about the war. You know, to me, I think you might find that more exciting than this. This is brutal. The other is the beauty of it. You know, I think he'll build a great country. I think he's going to build it. We have a little stake in that country
Most
now because we have some
important
land
things
in that
about the
country.
about
We have
the points
minerals.
of this
It's
document
among
is
the
right
wealthiest.
here.
It's among the best land anywhere in the world for rare earth. And we have some,
Russia is bombing my
we have some
safety
rare
account.
earth. I look forward to taking advantage of it at the right time.
Mr. President,
Europe to make Patriot missiles in Europe.
He's one of my favorite soldiers. I see him. He's central casting. You, right? You doing okay?
Yes,
We see him at meetings. He's good. He's done a great job. Great
trying
job.
to do all of us.
Yeah. Great hero, actually.
Mr. outside.
Mr. President, will you allow Europe to make Patriot interceptors in Europe? Are you comfortable with licensing that technology?
About what? Tell me.
Patriot interceptors to be made in Europe.
And you're talking with respect to Ukraine. Well, we're going to talk about that. You know, look, it's a defensive weapon, which I like, better than an offensive weapon. It's the best. So I was saying we have an aircraft carrier, which is one of the most beautiful in the world. It's one of the biggest, the Abraham Lincoln. And 2 months ago, we had 100. I told this story yesterday. We had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the aircraft carrier over a period of about 1 hour. 111 missiles going to a very expensive ship, and every one of those missiles was knocked down. Pretty much most by Patriots, but by other means also, as you know.
Yeah.
Other less expensive means. It's even better when you do that. But out of the 111 missiles, every one of them was shot down. It didn't hit the ship, and bad things happen, right, when that happens. So think of that, over a period of 1 hour, these missiles are coming at you, and every one of them shot down. So I think one of the things we're going to be talking about is, as you know, the companies, we have great power over the companies. Those companies that make the Patriot and make all of the great stuff, the Tomahawks, all of the great stuff. We have the best stuff. Many things, the Patriot's great, but we have many, many great things. You see that with Venezuela. You see it with Iran. Look, Iran has been wiped out. Iran, their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, everything's gone. But one of the things I think we're going to be talking about today, a little birdie told me this, about the fact that we'll give them the right to make Patriots. We'll show them how to do it. It's very complex, actually, but you'll figure out the complexity quickly. And we're talking about that, and the company that makes them, which is building now 4 plants, all of our companies will be able to do this in 2 to 3 months. If you order a Patriot, now you have to wait a long time for them.
Exercise the withdrawal
We have a
of
lot of
weapons,
certain equipment,
and you will
but
find
they call it the elite
that you will
equipment.
get the order
And
needed
you don't need
for
elite
all
equipment
this.
necessarily for a war. But so one of the things we're going to
And
be
so
talking
will
about is
Russia de-escalate.
we're going to give a license to you to make Patriots. That's pretty cool, right?
Very good.
This way you can't complain that we're not giving them enough. I say make them yourself. We haven't informed the company of that yet, but that'll work out all right. I'm sure they'll be thrilled. But they'll be able to do it. You'll be able to figure that out. Most countries couldn't do that.
No.
If I said that to most countries, they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But this is a very ingenious group, and what I like about that, it's a defensive situation as opposed to an offensive. But I think one of the things you might want to be talking about is
After you
that's what I heard.
you withdraw your weapons, we want to hold local elections,
Does the end of the ceasefire
make
mean
sure
we're
that
back to
everything is under
full-scale
Ukrainian
military
law,
conflict?
They violate the agreement every day. They lie, they cheat, they
and
kill people.
and see
They've
a
been killing people for
foreseeable
47
future
years. They
that
knocked
is
out the
feasible,
SS Cole.
and
We lost, what, 200 people?
prosperity will reign
That was a long time
after
ago.
war.
For 47
in
years, no
peace.
president did anything about them. Well, Obama actually gave them vast amounts of money. You'd like this. He gave them
Two
a
major
plane load
things
of
that you
money,
can do right
$1.7
now.
billion in green cash. They load up
It's
a
not
Boeing. They loaded
propaganda.
up a Boeing.
It's a simple
757.
action, simple points
Remember the old 757?
to get
It
the
was a beautiful
war
plane,
under
loaded up
wrap.
with cash. They took all the seats out, and they took all of the cash from Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. banks. They had no money. They took every ounce of cash, put it in, flew it to Iran, and gave them the money. I wonder
mean,
what
what
these
would
guys
Russia
thought
do
when the
at
door
that
opened
point?
and cash fell out of this big plane, beautiful plane.
Nothing.
And
They'd have
then
to
on
play
top
along
of that, they gave them billions
and see
billions of dollars.
what the politic is,
And by the way,
really.
they gave it to the wrong country. Frankly, you want to know the truth. And it began. That was pretty much the Obama deal. That was one of the worst tragedies that happened. That's what happened in the Middle East. That deal set back that whole situation. They went with, frankly, they picked the wrong country. They picked the wrong country. POC. What a terrible deal. I call it the Obama nuclear waste deal, because what he did with that deal is he caused tremendous hardship in the Middle East. It was a terrible thing to do. And we've been just the opposite. Our deal is a wall to a nuclear weapon. His deal was a road to a nuclear weapon. They'll never build a nuclear weapon.
Okay, the
under our deal, but
opposite.
I don't know if we're going to have a deal. We
It's
may
the
just
opposite.
do it without a deal. Because you know what? It's easier. Because these people,
What does
they
that
lie
look like
and they cheat,
specifically?
and you have an agreement, and they'll go outside. For instance, they agreed, well, we'll never have a nuclear weapon. They agreed. Then they go outside, they have a news conference where they leak that we never discussed the subject. Now, who would believe we never discussed the subject? Because for me, that's 99.9% of what we're
Okay,
doing.
so
It's denuclearization of
what I want is
Iran,
both
okay?
sides to withdraw
When you ask our guys can
heavy
continue,
weapons.
you know, Steve is great, and Jared, and all the guys. They know him very well. Yeah, actually, they're working on your stuff too. I wonder which. I picked two beauties. You know what? We settled 8 wars. I got a couple of beauties here, but Steve's great and Jared's great. You know, they're the right guys, and we'll see what happens. But I will say this: Iran, they've misbehaved for 47 years. They've killed our soldiers, they've killed our people, and they've killed a lot of people all over the Middle East and elsewhere. And the roadside bomb was their preferred, the preferred weapon was by Soleimani, the roadside bomb, where it would explode under a truck. We actually built trucks with floors, steel this thick. And then all they did
I've
was
been
they
up
made
all
bigger
day,
bombs.
okay?
And we have
But
young
yeah,
guys
so we want Russia
around, not walking
to
around 'cause
withdraw
they have
its
no legs.
heavy
But their legs
weapons
were blown off, their arms were blown off, their face was
I was
blown
working
off,
on
and they
that
lived because of modern
today,
medicine.
but I thought
You can do
that
anything. But they're living-
both sides
they're
could
living
just
like in hell
withdraw certain
whole
things so
life
everything
changed
goes back to
because
normal.
of Iran. And that
But
was
unfortunately,
96% of the people that use that. They were made,
unfortunately, Ukraine
So-
must be Ukraine for a
we have
while.
a score to settle too.
Mr. President, What about the naval blockade,
Mr.
sir?
President, you say that President Putin is ready to finish this war. What if he doesn't? Are you ready to put pressure on Russia? Are you ready to
Well, we
put
have a
more
lot of
sanctions?
pressure. We have a lot of pressure on President Putin. You know, I don't think he likes what's going on. I don't think he's thrilled with what's happening. There's a lot of pressure on President Putin to get it done. I think there's pressure on everybody to get that one done.
It's called
A lot of
secession.
What's your security guarantee for Ukraine?
The guarantee?
Yeah, security guarantee for
the
Ukraine.
security guarantee you're
Yeah.
talking about? I mean, not that we want to do it. We'll do it to save lives. Look, Ukraine's very far away. We have an ocean separating us. What I'm doing is I'm trying to save lives. A
And
lot
we
of
could get
lives
it
are
done
being
in
lost.
about 24
I also think
hours.
It's a country with great
72
potential. I think
hours.
If this kind of brain power
We'll
can
give them
go toward
72
rebuilding
hours,
the country
24 hours to
instead of fighting
comply,
a war,
72
I
hours to
think it's
get
gonna
everything
I
out,
think that country's going to do
And-
fantastically well. And likewise, Russia. you
and
know,
withdrawal of
they're
heavy
devoting
weapons would be the
a lot of
first thing
energy.
to do.
A lot of energy.
So
You have a
local
question
elections
for
can
President Putin?
resume right away.
Пане президенте, чи можете ви
President,
сказати,
do you have a
що-
question for President
Yes,
Putin?
yes.
Not so much.
For our
Yeah,
president.
what would you like to ask him? Because I'm going to ask him that question.
I have a question. Last
And you sleep at
year
night.
you called Russia a paper tiger, referring that they're not doing
Who
that
did
great.
I call?
I'm from Telegraph UA, Ukrainian media.
And give us a question, not for Zelensky, give us a question for...
And decentralization, that's something you guys got to work out. I don't know how to decentralize.
That's a good, hard question.
When will he end this war?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever asked him that question. I'm going to ask him that question.
Пане президент,
Mr. President, what's the status of a drone deal between the U.S.
Say
and
it?
Ukraine? What's the status
By the
of
way,
a drone?
I will tell you, though, he's going to tell you that he wants it ended as soon as he can end it. He wants it ended. He wants to end it soon. And I ask him, and we talk. I talk to him a lot. I talk to him a little bit less, but the relationship is very good. But I talk to President Putin a lot. He wants to end the war.
Mr. President,
A lot of people don't believe that.
Doesn't he
What's
want
the
all of
status
this?
of a drone deal between
what
Ukraine?
are President Putin's conditions?
I will write the first
Well,
draft
they were certain conditions
Vladimir
were a little
Putin
bit
wanted
different. I think they're
to
changing. I think they're probably getting
draw
a
the
little bit better
line
toward some of the things
and
that you
escape.
like. It's been tougher in Russia. It's been a lot tougher.
Well,
than it
not
was supposed
escape,
to be.
secede.
In all fairness, this was supposed to be a. This is a war that would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. You'd have a full country. You know, I mean, just a shame that it happened. But no, this is something that I think Zelensky wants to do and Putin wants to do. They want to get it done. Ask the president that question. Ask him.
Пане президенте, ви знаєте, на яких зараз умовах Володимир Путін готовий завершувати війну в Україні? Чи ж вони змінилися?
Go ahead.
No, I don't know what I don't know what conditions Putin now wants for this peace. So I think that they are changing in any way because at the very beginning of full-scale war he was stronger, and now I think he is losing initiative on the battlefield. I think his army, but that's why I think that because of technologies, because it's not the question now of number of people. People are our heroic people are very important, but now it's not the question of only number of people. First of all, people and technologies, people with technologies. Now I think that we have better steps, technological steps further than Russia, maybe quicker. Because you know that they produce a lot of different things which are tough, strong against us, but we are quicker. And that's why I think that now initiative moved to our hands. Not totally, but moved. We are trying to move this war to the sky from the battlefield. That's why we now begin to control the battlefield. This is very important. It's difficult when you have less people to move them back. But we found another way how to do it, to cut their logistic for their army. It's about weapon, petrol, diesel, without massive human losses. That is the difference between us, by the way. Russia is,
He's got a lot of support. I just left a room with, where they have, mostly European, you have Canada, but mostly European countries. And they have great support for Ukraine. And, really great support. One of the things you talk about questions for Putin, but one of the things that I talked to him about was, where would you want to meet? And he said, ideally in Moscow. I said, you're not going to meet in Moscow. It just doesn't work. You can't do that. But he'll meet, and Zelensky's going to meet, and something's going to happen that's going to be positive. And I hope it's going to happen soon, because they have to, number one, lives, but number two, building your country, because it's got a tremendous future, in my opinion. Yeah.
Where would it be held and when would that happen?
I don't know.
Mr. President,
President Putin said, I would love to meet in Moscow.
Istanbul or city
And
of
I said,
Ukraine.
I don't think, I have to put myself in his position. I don't know that he'd go to Moscow. Maybe he would. Would you go to Moscow?
Not in Donetsk. Donetsk is
there are a lot of
fucking.
Ukrainian drones.
If they ever meet in Donetsk, that would be like the most dirtiest, dangerous battlefield ever.
Europe.
No, it's hard. It's hard to go to Moscow.
Mr.
It's a little hard.
President,
I thought I'd answer that
Mr.
question.
President,
to him. I didn't want to ask him that question.
Mr. President, how to ensure that Ukraine will not be attacked again by Russia?
What about?
how to make
Like
sure that
shooting
Ukraine
each
will
other
not
in the head
be
or
attacked
something.
by Russia
Well,
again?
look, you mean in the future? You mean after there's an agreement? Well, we're going to work on a security guarantee that, and Russia respects us a lot, and we're going to work on some kind of a security. If we can make the right deal, we'll help Europe. I mean, Europe is going to be watching it, but we're going to be helping them, and we'll work on some kind of a security package that will make sure. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that if we make a deal, Russia is going to be very happy, and they're going to get on with other things. They have,
You know what I
by the way,
like?
as a country too, they have
I
tremendous
like
potential. They have
conference
tremendous land,
calls with
valuable land that they can do things with. And
on YouTube so
they have
everybody
tremendous
can see.
potential. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see. That question is, oh, they're going to attack again. I don't see it at all. I think they've had it. They've had. This has been going on for
That's how I want
years,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? I mean, it's a tribute because it's a bigger country, strong country, and it's an amazing tribute. Anything else?
Mr. President, with the Patriot missiles, President Zelensky has said that Ukraine needs Patriot missiles now. Over 50 Ukrainians have died in recent airstrikes just in the last few days. So in addition to these production licenses, which will take time, would you consider
Not that
providing
much time, actually.
would you consider providing any to Ukraine immediately?
We have Patriots, but we don't have that many. We need them for ourselves too. You know, some, yeah, I mean some, but I think they can produce them pretty quickly. Once we explain it, we'll bring the company here. You'll work with the company. They have a great ability to produce weapons, pretty complex weapons.
Are you willing to
Will you go to Ukraine?
President, do you have
Will I
any
go to
deadline?
Ukraine?
Will you go to Ukraine?
I would, yeah.
Do you have any deadline when you want to reach
I'd
a
rather
deal?
have the war be over.
When will it
Yeah.
happen?
Do you have any
I'm not sure
deadline?
a Secret Service would be thrilled.
Are you willing to
But you know what I would? I would like to.
Putin doesn't stop
Do you-
war
I think,
this
it's,
year
I
or
think the
next.
people
You
are
remember that plan?
incredible. And, I mean, like Kiev, it would be nice to get it before any more damage is done, to be honest. It's such a beautiful city, right? And yeah, I would go to Ukraine at the right time.
Do you have any deadline? Deadline when you want to reach a deal between Ukraine and Russia? Do you have any deadline in that regard?
No, I don't have a deadline. You can't have a deadline. It's it's too much going on. But I think you're going to have a deal. I think I've been very good. We had certain deals like Azerbaijan and some of the deals that we made, and they've been going on for 32 years. And they said it's an impossible thing to get them solved. Eight different deals. Even in the Congo, it was. Think of it. You have the Congo and Rwanda. That was 14 million people dead, a lot of them with machetes. It's a horror. We got that one solved, or it flares up every once in a while, I must say. But we got deals done that weren't doable. But if you look at India and Pakistan, they were at it. We get that. We get them done, and when we get them done,